You see what I mean? Just because he doesn't teach to the test and cover facts all year does not mean the kids aren't learning. In fact, it seems to me that they have an even deeper understanding of the content.
This constructivism sounds like it really works. I think I'm convinced.
I'm in too. Plus, I think these inquiry methods would really benefit our underrepresented students.
Now hold on. This new teacher's making us all look bad. Sure, I'm glad that his kids did well on the test, but there's more than that. You know that I've actually had students complain to me that they don't get to do fun stuff in our rooms like they have to do in his? How do you think that makes me feel?
Now, what kind of stuff are you talking about?
All that technology. He's got all these crazy gizmos and gadgets that I've never even heard of before. How come he gets to use that stuff?
Well, maybe if you learned how to, you could use technology too.
That's a bunch of bull. How do we even know this stuff works?
His room is way out of order. I mean, have you seen the way he sets up his room?
You know, I have seen his room. He's got his desks in a circle, there's students crowded around the computers, they're walking here and there, playing with the little toys. How are we supposed to teach these kids if they're not facing us?
Hold on, I haven't seen his classroom yet. I'd like to see the layout before I make any rash decisions.
I'll go get the map. Here you go.
Now, would you look at that? That's a unique looking classroom.
Yeah, it may be unique. But what is the purpose? I don't understand how a classroom like this has any value to instruction.
I'll tell you the value in this classroom. It's the ideal setup for scientific inquiry.
How is this classroom better for inquiry than any of ours?
Well, if you look at how the student desks are set up, they're all in a circle so that they can have discussions and see and hear one another as well as the teacher. It's here where they pose scientific questions that they will then later investigate. And I know it sounds strange, but it's often the students that are deciding on what they're going to be learning.
In my day, it was always desks in a row, teacher leading the class. If only these ideas were around when I started teaching. Just imagine what I could have done.
Guys, these ideas have been around. If you've seen any of the post-Sputnik curriculum, inquiry's been around for decades. It's just the teachers get comfortable and nobody wants to change. We're afraid of it not working.
Can we get back to the map here?
Now you see here these laboratory workspaces. It's here that the students carry out the investigations that they themselves have come up with. And then after that, they'll come and they'll have discussions about what they've done. Real scientific discussions.
I could see how this could be considered science, but the question still remains. How are we supposed to assess what the students have been learning?
Now that's the most wonderful part. These kids are allowed to demonstrate their learning in any way they please.
What are you talking about?
Ridiculous.
You know, it's
Any way they want, whatever they want. It's ridiculous.
Multiple choice tests and written essays are not authentic forms of assessment. I'm telling you, these kids are talented in so many more ways than you would know by just giving tests. I've seen them demonstrate their knowledge through movies made on the computer and books that they make about their investigations and debates, real scientific debates. I am telling you, this is the way we should be teaching.
I think I want to try this in my classroom.
I've always wanted to try inquiry, but I was afraid the other teachers in the department would turn on me.
You don't have to worry about us. We're on board with inquiry.
Yeah, and don't forget about this constructivism too.
I say we give him tenure.
I'm also changing my vote to tenure.
I think tenure is the right choice.
After all these years, I think we may finally see a change in teaching.
Let's just take another vote.
What's the matter with you people? Don't you see what's happening? We got some hotshot kid right out of college trying to come in here and tell us how to do our jobs. We got to teach these kids the facts. They need to learn things like Newton's laws, plate tectonics, photosynthesis. They need order. They need discipline. Where are you guys going? Why aren't you guys listening to me? Don't you see what I'm trying to say? Guys, we're not ready for this. These kids can't take this.
Just take a seat already, okay? We've heard enough of you.
It's time for a change. In fact, the change to our education system is long overdue.
So let's take another vote. Who is still against tenure?
It's 11-1.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. I still say no tenure.
We want to hear your arguments again. We have as much time as it takes.
Everything. Everything that happens in that classroom says he shouldn't be tenured. What about the teachers across the hall? They hear everything that goes on in there. And this desk arrangement? How can he teach like that? These exam grades? These kids probably cheated for all we know. You can't prove that they're learning. What about those computers? That technology can't give the facts like a teacher can. I'm telling you, it's twisted, turned, to make them look like a real teacher. I've got all the facts right here. Well? Say something! You lousy bunch of progressive educators. Rotten students. You always need something else, don't you? Give him tenure.